it would be really a very good pleasure for all of us.
Kishan sir.
సార్ కి రైట్స్ ఇవ్వండి. మ్యూట్ చేశారు సార్ని, కిషన్ సార్ని. సంతోష్ సార్ని మ్యూట్ చేసింది. మీ దగ్గర నుంచే ఇవ్వాలి. ప్రెజెంటర్లో పెట్టండి. సంతోష్ సార్ని ప్రెజెంటర్ కి తీసుకురండి.
ఓకే సార్, ఓకే సార్.
Sir, sir, please unmute yourself, sir. Professor N. Kishan, sir, kindly unmute yourself.
అయ్యో రమ్యమా, మీ రెండు చూడండి పండాయా?
నాకు అనిపించింది అదే ఎండకు అట్లా అనిపిస్తుంది. ఇందాక కూడా పండిని కదంటే కాదన్నారు.
హలో సార్, ఓకే.
Is it okay now?
ఇట్స్ ఓకే సార్.
Okay.
ఓకే, డెలివరీ.
Good morning to all of you. Sorry for the little bit technical the issue are with me or with you. So this FDP program, faculty development program on computational mathematics using Python, is specifically conducting by Vignan Institute of Management Technology for Women. So on this occasion, so the organizers, the convener, Dr. T. Srinivaslu, Professor of Mathematics and Dean, Coordinator Mr. K. Santosh Kumar, and Mr. B. Vidyasagar, and all other organizing committee members, and the management of the institute. And the program is conducting computational mathematics with using Python. Nowadays, we know that computational mathematics is playing a lot of role in the scientific development, in engineering and science, wherever the developments are leaded by computational aspects. When we want to go for the logistics and realistic models, we have to need the simulations. For any physical problem or any problems or the database related issues are there. So first we have to, with the mathematical modeling, we have to use the simulations, and the simulation analysis, using that we have to go for actual the real the experiments or any applications or whatever it may be. Based on that, there will be development will be taken place. Until unless they using the software nowadays, it is a huge data. Use high nonlinear equations will be occurred in all realistic applications. So the computational aspects of it is very essential. And another aspect is here, Vignan Institute of Management Technology for Women. So generally, we have a computational mathematics means we have many softwares like the MATLAB, Mathematica, and so many things are there. Console and the other the Fluent, and like the wherever we can have a finite element and finite different methods or numerical methods. Generally, we know that where we unable to solve the problems by the exact solution, analytical solution, we need a computational methods. Or for that, we have a all aspects of that. We have to use these methods. And the particular one advantage of this program is, instead of MATLAB or mathematics and or other mathematical software, instead of that, Python is now it is a the what you can say that it is a free available software is there. Not like earlier, we have a C and C++. We have to use to the execute the programs by using the like the, for example, matrix of the 100 cross 100 matrix, or like the any n number of matrix, infinite number of matrix also we can use. But it will take a lot of time for computation. And the results, whatever we will get, it is to analyze or to graph or something like that, it has to take a lot of time. Now coming to MATLAB and all other things, we are getting directly but the thing is, which are highly costly available softwares are there. We have to need to purchase, and also the inside what is going, we do not know exactly. So the algorithms and all those things, how we are dealing the problems. So when we are dealing directly, which is available, but when we can want to deal separate different problems, we have to need knowledge of the concept, the programs which you have to design for your own problem. So that for that the best Python is there, which is available software, free software that we have to use. And they have planned in a proper way. I have seen there are 5 days programs is available. So morning to evening, morning this is like a hands-on sessions you can have. One is the Python libraries for mathematics, eigenvalues and eigenvectors and graphical visualization, algebraical transcendental equations, linear system of equations, like first order differential, higher order differential equations. Similarly, also we can have a the applied statistics when the other correlation, rank correlation, and all other which we have to validate the things. So 5 days, which is a useful program. Now, what I want to say that. So this will be this FDP program will foster the intellectual exchange, encourage collaborative research, and inspire participation to adopt modern computational approaches in their academic and the research aspects wherever you require, or in your regular curriculums, in the particularly in engineering college and other colleges. So this the computational mathematics is a crucial role in diverse fields such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, and climate modeling. Anywhere, not all aspects of the application we have to is essential for that. Even the financial analysis, medical imaging, cyber security, and space research. and all other designing and advanced engineering systems. We have to need these computational techniques, or we can say that computational mathematics. We have to learn much. So in these aspects, my advice is for all the participants not to join for certificates and just joining online and the in keeping the unmute mode and doing your other things for certificate sake or some other things. My advice is try to see that you can attend all the classes, so which will give hands-on training program that will enlighten your the knowledge in particularly computational aspects. So with using Python. So I wish all of you, and I wish congratulate and also the organizers and particularly the institute which is encouraging such programs. I also thank the institute for encouraging this type of programs, and also thank you for the organizers and institute for giving me this opportunity to interact with you. Thank you, Srinivas. Srinivas,
Thank you
thank you,
so
madam.
much, sir,
Thank you.
for sharing your valuable expertise in this area and also for giving your valuable time and joining today's FTP. Thank you so much, sir, once again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now I'd like to request our respected principal, sir, Dr. G. Apparao Naidu, to welcome the speaker as well as, give a small insight about today's FTP to all the fellow participants.
Yeah, madam. Thank you. Thank you, madam. Good morning to all. Today's guest, Professor Kishan Garu, N. Kishan Garu, and Professor Ravindra Babu from JNTH, and HOD and FDP in charge, Srinivasulu, and my dear faculty and participants. This FDP, like what Kishan sir is mentioned that related to computational mathematics using Python. Definitely, this requirement is there for the faculty for learning in all the areas of this computational areas. Definitely, this will be give that the R&D related support for this once they complete this FDP of 5 days. Definitely, they will learn more and they can do the R&D in this area. It's almost like R25 regulation. This subject is introduced in the R25 regulation. The faculty or the experienced faculty also, they can train in this area. Maybe in the 5 days, they can different sessions they conducted. Maybe this is conducted in online. It's better to conduct in offline. It definitely they will give the good result than the online. The hands-on training is very, very important. The practice more with the coding. Generally, mathematical faculty is not fond with that coding part and all. They need to learn how to add the libraries and how to use that libraries and everything. That definitely the people who are attending this FDP spend more time, not only just listening and leaving all the content and all. Do practice. Definitely, it will be useful for your R&D part of your R&D side. Srinivasulu, thank you for conducting this FDP, and thank you. Thank you, one and all. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir, for welcoming all our fellow participants and giving your time for the small introduction. Thank you so much, sir. Now I'd like to request our respected HOD, sir, of Basic Sciences and Humanities, Dr. Ranadhir Reddy, sir, to give a small introduction about today's FDP.
Thank you, Shatabdi. Good morning to our esteemed chairman, DL Rataya sir. Is it audible, sir, Santosh? Is it audible?
Audible, sir, audible.
Okay. So good morning to our esteemed chairman, Dr. L. Rataya sir, CEO Shravan sir, Principal Garu, Dr. G. Apparao Naidu sir.
Okay, I'm
Chief
sorry,
guest.
just a minor change. I'd like to request our convener, sir, Dr. T. Srinivasalu, to give a brief introduction about today's FDP. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Sir, voice clear లేదు. Sir, voice is not clear, sir. Sir, voice is not clear.
Not audible, sir. First, not audible, sir. Anything.
Oh, wait, sir. Shiva, sir, your voice is not audible.
Mm.
Sorry for the interruption. I think there is a small internet issue with our convener, sir. So I'd like to invite our HOD, sir, of Basic Sciences and Humanities, Dr. Ranadhir Reddy, to kindly share a few words about today's FTP. Sir, welcome to the FTP, and please share. Sir, you can please
Yeah.
share your opinion
So
as well as
yeah.
views.
Thank you.
Really,
Thank you,
thank
Shatabdi.
you so much, sir.
Thank you, Shatabdi. Now it is audible. My voice
Sir,
is audible.
audible, sir.
Oh,
Audible.
yeah. So
Yeah,
good
okay.
morning.
Audible, sir.
Yeah, okay. So good morning. This is
Okay, sir,
Dr.
you're
Randy
audible.
Reddy.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Respected Chairman Rataya sir, CEO Shravan sir, Principal sir G. Apparao Naidu sir, Chief guest of today's event, so Professor Kishan sir, Usmania University, convener of the program, Srinivasulu sir, respected deans, head of the departments, faculty coordinators of the mathematics department. So good morning, one and all. Uh, it gives me a immense pleasure to welcome you all this 5 days FDP computational mathematics using Python, organized by the Department of Basic Sciences and Humanities, Vignan Institute of Management and Technology for Women. Presently, in today's rapidly evolving technological world, so computational skills have become essential for educators, researchers, and engineers. So mathematics and the programming together for the foundation of solving complex real-world problems. This FDP has been carefully designed to provide the participants with a practical exposure to Python programming and its applications with the computational mathematics, numerical methods, differential equation, linear algebra, and etc. Over this 5 days program, the participant will have the opportunity to learn from experienced resource persons, engage in hands-on sessions, and explore modern computational tools that can enhance both teaching and I think research activities, which is quoted by our respected principal, sir. I'm confident that this program will help bridge the gap between mathematical theory and practical implementation, enabling participants to integrate computational approaches. I sincerely thank the management, principal sir, organizing team, coordinators, and all the participants for the support and enthusiastic involvement in this event. I wish all participants a fruitful learning experience and highly successful FDP. So thank you all. So thank you very much. Over to you, Shatabdi.
Thank you so much, sir, for the welcoming speech and for your valuable time. Thank you so much once again. Now before going ahead to today's FTP, I'd like to give a small intro about the speaker for our first day of Computational Mathematics FTP. So the speaker for today is Dr. L. Sridhar Rao, who has an MTech and PhD and is presently working as Associate Professor, Department of Artificial Intelligence, Anurag University, Hyderabad. He received his doctorate from Bharatiya University in 2018 and has more than 25 plus years of teaching experience in various premier engineering institutes of India with excellent expertise in teaching, designing, and developing curriculum for various computer science courses. He is an academician, author, researcher, and has delivered expert guest lectures in various conferences and institutes. He is also awarded with Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan Best Teacher Award in 2021. On this note, I'd like to invite Dr. L. Sridhar Rao, sir, to take over today's session. It would be a really great honor, sir, to invite you and take over the session for today's FTP.
Yeah. Thank you, Shatabdi madam. Hope I was audible to all of you.
It's audible, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Now it is not audible, sir.
So 1 minute, sir. 1 minute.
Yes. Right. Right. Thank you, sir. Voice is audible.
So first of all, I want to congratulate all the management, organizers, participants for participating in this 5-day FDP on computational mathematics using Python. So the title for this FDP was very optimal, and of course it is very much needed. As my previous speakers rightly quoted that it is the current requirement and it is the blend of mathematics with advanced technologies of computer science. Let me say in a very broad way. If you observe the recent tendencies and the trends of the IT industry, where it is driving by artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, no doubt these are all the advanced core competencies, but totally it is supported by mathematics and statistics. Let me say in a little bit simple sense, if I want to become a, data science engineer, or I want to become a data analyst, of course, I need my regular computer science subjects. But in addition to that, I must be good at the statistics also, because the total data science is supported by statistics. Likewise, if I want to be good at the machine learning or artificial intelligence, it is to be by mathematics. What you teach regularly to the students, like principal component analysis, linear algebras, Spearman's rank correlation quotients, matrices, eigenvectors. These are all the back-end supportive and the backbone topics. One who wants to be good at AI or ML or data science. So that's why, once again, I want to appreciate and congratulate all the coordinators and the institution for the correct title of this one. And as per the JN2H also, it is into the second year, second semester, which is. So let's get into the details. Before getting into the complete details, let us try to understand in a broad way. I don't want to go to in a micro level at this moment. What exactly the meaning of this computational mathematics using Python? And I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Can I get any response?
Okay, sir.
Yes, it is
sir.
visible, sir. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So this computational mathematics using Python, in a broader way, let us take it into two parts. First part, I require a functional expertise. Functional expertization in the sense with a sound knowledge of the mathematics and statistics and all these related, which is majorly playing a role of 50 to 60%. And the second half is programmatic experience. That is by using the computer language, say some particular Python. So computational mathematics is half of it and Python is second half of it. So let us try to understand what is this computational mathematics is. It is once again an interaction. Once again, it is a accumulation of our regular mathematics science plus computer science and more importantly, algorithms. Please try to focus on this, my vocabulary. It is no doubt a blend of the mathematical sciences that where you are very good at, followed by computer science, and most importantly, algorithms. To be in a out of the scope, means out of our FDP limits, what I'm trying to say is, once if you are good at all these three, means if you are good at algorithms, if you are good at evaluation of the algorithms, with a little bit of knowledge of this particular Python, now you can become a machine learning expert. Now you can become a data engineer, which requires a sound knowledge of the mathematical science and this particular algorithms, what algorithm should be applied in trouble cases where it is to be used. So that's why computational mathematics is a growing domain of the mathematics. Then second half is using the language Python. So very simply, what I want to say it is, I want to express the mathematics in Python language, just as I am teaching this FDP in the English-like language. Just you can express all your mathematical expressions, equations, calculations, every bit and minute of the mathematics can be expressed using a language that's a Python. And let us be a little bit clear about this particular Python. Mind you, if you look at my slide, Python is a high-level language. So please don't get panic that it is a high level. It is a high-level language for the system, not for the humans. It is a high-level language for the system, for the computer system, but not for us. Because your computer system does not understand any English-like language. You know, in a simple sense, your computer system does not understand the difference between capital A and small a. You don't know what do you mean by single quotation and double quotations. But all these are understandable to us. So your Python language is just like a simple English expression. That's it. You don't need any technical expertise. You need not know the A to Z of the computer science. It looks like a simple English-like language. And of course, it is a general purpose programming language. It is not meant for any specific application, any specific problem solving. If you get an example of the language like Fortran, which is a very old one, it is for formula translations. That's it. The name itself is Fortran. It's a formula translation. But unlike those languages, your Python is a general purpose programming language. You can use it for any purpose. You can write any kind of application. You can write a implementation of a mathematical equation. You can write a program to find out or to implement the correlations. Likewise. But the very specialization of this Python language is code readability, simplicity, and ease of writing. I think now you can be a little bit confident with these three terminologies. It's code readability. Means, let me say, as an expert of the computer science, I can write a program to implement eigenvalues or eigenvectors. And if I give the same Python code to you, being a mathematical expertise, you need not worry about the Python language. It's just like that. It is easily readable and, pardon? It is easily readable and understand.
అది కాకుండా ఉండాలి కదా అదే సార్ విషయం.
So it's such a simple and readability, even if you read it, and ease of writing as a programmer also. Now you can write the Python language very easily, that which I will take care of. So that's what is the outline and a very broad meaning of computational mathematics using Python. That's why let us divide it into two parts. Computational mathematics is your functional domain experience, and Python is a little bit of the computer science oriented. With these two, we are able to do. So as per your schedule, which was designed very neatly by the organizers and coordinators of this FDP, in the first half of the story, we will go with the Python language basics. Because some of you may be well-versed with the C language or well-versed with some other programming language. Getting into this Python is a little bit easy and a little bit of inverseness. So now the question is, what do you mean by Python basics in the sense where I have to type a Python program? That's why, for example, I quoted there Python IDLE, which is very simple and it don't needs any technical jargons. And installation of such a Python IDLE is also very easy. So IDLE stands for Integrated Development Environment. It's an integrated area and you need not go anywhere else. You can type the program, you can design the program, you can compile the program, you can run and test and debug the program in the same window. You need not go for any other window or any other new tab. Just in the given Python IDLE itself, you can go and perform all the steps of the application development. That's what we will call IDLE, Integrated Development Environment. And the next one is the Jupyter Notebook. So this is a very, specialized software, because when you are working with Python, I may use some of the built-in packages. Suppose if you want to draw a graph, very simple, let me say, I want to draw a graph for a given set of the values for its sine and cosine values. It's a graphical utility. You will use a separate package which is available in the Python, matplotlib. Once again, I repeat, it's a matplotlib, a separate package in the Python, which is exclusively used to design such a graphs and then a pie chart, bar chart likewise. So all such packages were inbuilt in the Jupyter notebook. Whatever else you need to develop any type of scientific application, mathematical application, complex engineering problem, whatever all the packages you need, whatever all the inbuilt packages you need that are available in the Jupyter notebook. Whereas if it is the case of working with Python, ideally, you have to install them separately, which needs a little bit of knowledge of how to install, what are the installation utilities. Instead of all these, routines, if you install the Jupyter notebook, a one single step solution for all. You need not go for anywhere else. So that's why one part is ideally, second part is Jupyter notebook. While explaining the codes also, I will go with the Python ideally, then followed by the Jupyter notebook. Then getting into the language, there we will discuss about the variables, data types, loops, and functions. This is the core and heart of the Python language. If you were good at all these four, means what do you mean by variables, how you have to use them? What are the variables, data types that I can use? Then what do you mean by a loop and what do you mean function? Where I want to spend most of the time. So if you are good at all these particular four, how to write a loop, how to handle a loop, how the loop will behave, then you are done with 80% of the Python programming. Then followed by functions. And in the second half, possibly in the afternoon session, we will see and work with a very special libraries for mathematics, where you have to be well versed with. Means the libraries which can be used for implementation of, using of mathematical symbols, like derivative symbols, sigma symbols, all these. And there is a separate package or a module or a library which can be used to implement ordinary differential equations. Likewise, there are so many, and even your Python provides inbuilt libraries to calculate the standard deviation, mean, mode, etc. All these statisticals also you can do it. So that's why I'm going to say Python is a very popular because of this particular specific features. So that's why let us see that two important packages. One is the NumPy, numerical Python. The second one is just now what I made a little bit example, matplotlib, to draw the graphs and all these things. Then we will look into some of the basic mathematical programming. Hope we were clear what we are going to cover in the next sessions. So let me get into the core area of the FDP. I mean to say today's session, what you want to do. Okay, let me say that I finished my 5 days of FDP. And I got a little bit knowledge about how to use a Python, how to solve a differential equation in using Python. Then what you will do? Basically, we are supposed to write a program. Yes, you need to write a program in a language which computers can understand. You cannot write a program in Tamil. You cannot write a program in Hindi. Just you have to write a program which is understandable to the machine itself, which is understandable to the computer itself. So that's why in a little bit, we'll call them as programming languages, computer languages. Say, for example, there I stated basic, Pascal, C, C++, Java, Ruby, Haskell, Python, so many. So many languages were there, out of which we are selecting Python. Means we are supposed to write a program in Python language. That's what we want to do. It's as simple as that. We want to write a program in Python. And then we will say that a program is a sequence of instructions that specifies how to perform a computation. So very specifically, I request all of you to listen and focus for 2 minutes over here. What you want to do is you want to write a program. And what do you mean by a program is a sequence of instructions that specifies how to perform a computation. Maybe it is a mathematical computation, or maybe it is a statistical calculation, or maybe it is finding the equations of a roots of a quadratic equation. It can be anything. But the point to be noted is, if your sequence of instructions is wrong, then it is also going to fail. Means if a program written by you is with any errors, maybe logical errors, or there may be mistake in the usage of a function, then automatically you will get a wrong output, or sometimes you don't get any output at all. So that's why program is a sequence of instructions. You identify what is that sequence you want to perform. If your sequence is correct, exactly you will get the output what you want expected. If it is goes in the wrong in a sequence, then you may end at a miserable position. Clear? Yeah. Now the question is, to do so and so, why we are going to select Python? Why can't I do it with what are the languages that I specified previously? Yeah, I can write a program to find roots of a quadratic equation using the Java language, no doubt in it. You can write. But Java does not provide sophisticated inbuilt functions like Python. Once again, I repeat, whatever you want to do, you can do it in any language. That's why I'm going to say repeatedly the same example. I want to find the roots of a quadratic equation. Yeah, now you write a program in C, you can. Now you write a program in Java. Yes, you can. Similarly, you can write a Python program also. But what makes the difference? Python is such a language where it provides functions that you want at each and every moment of your flow. You need not work hard. You need not define them. Suppose I want to find the square root of a number. In mathematics, it is a lengthy process. There are so many steps to find the square root of a given number. No need to worry. In Python, there is a function square root. Just you say square root of 16, it gives 4. Square root of something, it returns. So Python is very rich in inbuilt functions. So that's why Python can be used to implement mathematical equations. Python can be used to implement the scientific computing. Python can be used to solve complex engineering problems, whatnot. Mostly everything we can solve. So that's why I'm going to say, just for interesting sake, I'm going to specify some of the features, not each and every feature. It's a general purpose programming language, which can be used for both scientific and non-scientific programming. And very specifically, it is a platform independent programming language. So this particular second feature is a purely technical expertise, and I mean to say technical features. Means you write a Python program, you copy it to any other machine, there it will execute, that's it. Once again, I repeat, you write a program anywhere, I mean to say any machine, and you can copy it to anywhere else, and there itself you can execute it directly. There were no more modifications. There won't be any alterations and changes. That's why we are going to say it is a platform independent. And third feature is most important for me. It's a very simple, high-level language with vast library of add-on modules. You can have any number of modules you can have. In that, just what we said, it is you can have a separate set of the packages to draw the graphs. You can have a separate set of packages to implement ordinary differential equations. You can have a separate package for integral calculus and derivatives. Likewise, you can have a vast library of resources. The next, it is excellent for beginners as the language is interpreted, hence gives the immediate results. It's an interpreter based language, so you need not worry too much about that, and you will get the result immediately. The fifth one is programs written in Python are easily readable and understandable. Suppose if I give any program to you, you can understand it just like that because it is mostly looks like an English-like language. It is suitable for customized applications. It is easy to learn and use. And the eighth one is also important, and free and open source. So once again, it is a very lengthy debate. Whatever the softwares you are getting, maybe they were from a proprietary concern, or maybe they were, say, some particular open source, where you need not pay any license, where you need not pay any amount for its installation and downloading. It's an open source. Whatever you want in terms of the Python language, just get into the website and you download it and you can make use of it. Nobody will ask you. Suppose, for example, I want to write an application of scientific computing for some particular purpose in Python. Don't worry. Simply go to the scipy.org. That's a website where you can get the SciPy package. You can download it, install it, and make use of it. No need to pay any license. No need to pay any royalty. Nothing like that. It is a straight away free and open source. And there are so many variety of Python editors where you can look at this. So once again, you look into these things, and Python IDLE is there, which is very simple and easy to work. Python integrated development environment. The next, PyCharm, Anaconda, Spider, Jupyter Notebook, VS Code. These are all the softwares. These are all the softwares which you can make use of to develop any Python application. But out of all these, Anaconda looks to be more sophisticated. As I told previously, in other working environments, you have to install the packages separately. Suppose I am working with the Python IDLE and I want to take matplotlib. First of all, I want to install the matplotlib into Python IDLE. Whereas in the case of Anaconda, most of the packages you require, most of the package modules that you require were inbuilt. They comes along with the Anaconda. You need not go for any separate installation of it. So that's why also I request all of you, habituate yourself to work with Anaconda. Of course, Python IDLE, I don't deny it and I don't say no for it. But it is every time you have to install the required packages. But it is a case of Anaconda, it's a one-step solution. In your laptop or desktop or any system in the lab, you ask your technical people to install the Anaconda. There itself, you can work with any package, whatever you want. Then 10th one is very simple, widely used in many different domains and industry. Don't worry about the applications of Python. It can be used anywhere. Now, coming slowly into my first topic, this is the introduction to Python. And now slowly get into the micro level details of each and every one. Before writing a program, most of the times we will use variables. Don't worry too much technical about the variables, Sunday. Variable in the sense which varies, that's it. It varies. Sometimes it may have the value as a 10, and after some time it may have the value as 17. And after some time it may have 23. It varies. So now variable in Python is a location. Variable in Python is a location where you can store the value. You can store the value. Suppose I want to store the value of a pi, that is 3.14, etc., etc. You can take a variable. Similarly, I want to store the square root of 128. There you can take it as a variable. So in Python language, variable is a location, variable is a place, variable is a memory where you can store the value. Hope I was clear. Variable is simply to store the value, which varies. So now if you look at into my screen, There I am going to say, we can use variables in a calculations like y of x is equals to 2x plus 4. Just because I was not that much good at mathematics, I'm going to take a very simple equation to understand prima facie. The equation is like this: y of x is equals to 2x plus 4. Indirectly, my traditional equation is y of x is equal to ax plus b. So now x is a variable and y is a variable. X is a variable. If you supply, it calculates 2 into x plus 4 and returns the value of 5. Indirectly, let me say, x is an input variable. You have to input. You have to supply. X is an input variable which you want to supply it into the equation. Then the equation will find out the value of 5, saying that 2 into x plus 4. If you look at this equation, what I want to specify it is, there are two variables and two constants. X and y are variables, 2 and 4 are constants. Throughout this particular equation, my value of the 4 is fixed. My value of 2 is fixed. So 2 and 4 are constants, just like a pi value. Pi value is 22 by 7, that is equal to 3.14 something. It is a constant always, 24 by 7. Likewise, in this particular equation, 2 and 4 are constants, whereas x and y are variables. So now, you want to define, you want to declare such variables. Whatever the variables you are going to use it in, this one. Suppose I am going to say the equation is y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. There also you will have some variables and some constants. Now, into this, I'm going to show you a simple program. A is equals to 2, how to declare a variable. B is equals to 4, that's to declare another variable. You don't worry, there is a location. There is a location in your computer memory named as A, and the value stored inside of it is 2. Similarly, one more variable. The name of the variable is B, that is the name of the location, just like your flat name. In that location, I am going to store the value as 4. A is a variable, B is a variable. Whatever value you can store it into. Suppose I can store A is equal to 2.7 also. Likewise, B is equal to 4.1823. Yeah, you can store. No issue and no more restrictions. Likewise, how many values? You store each and every value into a variable. You can store n number of variables. There was no limitation. Almost all, literally, there was no limitation. You can use and declare any number of the variables. So now the same thing, I'm going to do it in a little bit program wise. X is a variable. So here I'm going to say, X is equals to 3. Y is equal to A into X plus B. And then I'm going to simply print the value of Y. Got it? A is equal to 2. B is equal to 4. These are the constants. The next X is equals to 3. What I have to input? So then indirectly your equation is 2 into 3 plus 4. 2 into X plus 4. A into X plus B. Kuncham expression marustunnamandi ante. Just we are going to change the way of expression. So ultimately Y is going to become, your way A value is 2 multiplied by X, that is 3, plus B value, that is 4. Indirectly the whole equation becomes 2 into 3 plus 4. That is equals to 10. There you are going to say that the print value of Y. It will print the value as a 10. Please be careful here. Y is equals to A into X plus B. First you take the right hand side of it. First you take the right hand side of it, a into x plus b. Now you substitute the values. Simple. Now you substitute the values. What is the value of a? 2 multiplied by what is the value of x? 3. Then plus what is the value of b? 4. 2 into 3 plus 4. Then I am going to store that particular resultant value into y. Y stores the value as a 10. 2 into 3 plus 4. That is equals to 10. It prints the value of y. It don't print y. It don't print y. Simply it will print the value of y. What is the value of y stored in 10? It prints the value as a 10. So print, we are going to call it as an output statement. Means after calculating something, you do the calculation whatever you want. And after that particular calculation, I want to express my result. I want to display my result, my answer. Then you simply say that it was print. Simply it prints the value of y. Similarly is my second example. This time I want to calculate the x value as 5. That is equals to x is equals to 5. Y is equal to a into x plus b. That is equal to 2 into 5 plus 4. That is 14 you will get. Print y. This is a simple program, how the Python looks like. How a Python program looks like, as simple as this. That's why we are going to say it is easily readable, it is easily understandable. But in this particular entire code, what is a new thing that you want to know? It is a variable and a printer. So just to keep it in a simple sense, variable is a place to hold the value. Variable is a location to store the value. Print is a statement to display output. What I want to print? I want to print the value of y. I want to display the value of y. Simply say print y. So then let's move into the next one. This is where you have to be a little bit careful. Okay, you are saying that variables, but inside of the variable, which type of value you are going to store? The logic. There is a correlation and an extension. Variable is a place to store the value, but what is the type of value? Suppose in a variable, I want to store the age of a person. Age of a person will be a positive integer. Is it clear? Age of a person can be a positive integer. Then in a second place, I want to store weight of a person. Let me say 72.13 kgs. So it is a numerical value with the decimal places. It's a numerical value with the decimal places. But this time I want to specify in a variable the name of the city where I live in. This time in a variable, I want to store the city where I live in. Let me say Hyderabad. Then this is not a numerical value. Hyderabad is a value which consists of alphabets A to Z. Maybe capital A to Z or small a to Z. That's up to you. But this time, when compared to age and height of a person or weight of a person, the city where I live in is text, which consists of alphabets capital A to Z and small a to Z. These what we are going to call them as the data types. What does the variable should consist of? What is the type and the nature of your values? So now you look at this broadly. The data types were divided into numbers, sequences, sets, and mappings. Once again, into the numbers, you have integers, very simple, without decimal places. You call it as integer. Floating points with the decimals, 21.73, 108.45. All these are floating points. Then complex numbers, and then say some particular real numbers. And here the most importantly, there is a subtype in the integer called as Boolean, which returns true or false. Yes or no. Okay or cancel. 0 or 1. There may be a questions or there may be a functions which results the value or yes or no. then such type of values we are going to call them as Boolean values. Then the question is floating points and complex. All these are related to numbers. But when you talk about alphabets, then we are going to call it as strings. S-T-R-I-N-G-S. In data types, you can see the sequences. In the sequences there, you can have a subtype with the name strings. Strings means with alphabets only. Simple, as simple. Numbers is nothing but 0 to 9. And the sequences strings is nothing but from A to Z. Then you had two more sequences, tuples and lists, which are also very useful for scientific computing. But let me try to cover them in a later session. Definitely we have to look at them, but I will try to introduce them in the next part of the session. Then once again, sets and then mappings. Sets does not allow the duplicates values. It won't allow any set of the duplicate values. It accepts only the unique values. Then mappings is nothing but a key value basis. So in a broad sense, this is the outline of the data types. And now you can more understand with this table, I hope so. In the last screen, I gave an overview of what are the data types, but now I'm going to give you a little bit description. Integer means stores of whole numbers, saying that A is equal to 10. Boolean stores the values of zeros and ones, true or false. Floating point is 5.5, means decimals. Complex stores a real and imaginary part. Stores the numbers having a real and imaginary part. Is it clear? The next, coming to the strings, is nothing but a sequence of characters. Then lists, tuples, sets, and dictionaries. Just you can read the description, have a glance for 1 minute, and you can look at what are the type of values we are going to store it into. Hope it makes a sense. Most of the times we will be using with numbers only into the computational mathematics. So integer, Boolean, floating point, and complex is very important for you.
Sir, can you give example for tuple, sir? Tuple.
Yes, sir, definitely. So then next the question is list and tuples, in the sense it is an array of values and I want to have multiple values. Suppose you take integer, sir, which stores the whole number. If I say A is equal to 12, initially A is equal to 12, and now I am going to say A is equal to A plus some 5, 10 plus 5, 15. You cannot get the previous value. Indirectly, what I mean to say it is, variable at any moment of time can store a single value, but I want a group of values. I want to have a list of values. Then you can go with the lists and the tuples. Variable stores a single value, list and tuples can store multiple values. If you were a little bit aware of the C and then Java, we will call them as arrays. The same thing with a little bit of changeover. Here in Python, we will call them as lists and tuples. But sir, as per your query made, if you observe these particular descriptions, you will come across two technical words, mutable and immutable. That's why if you look at the description of that, some of the data types, some of them were started with, suppose you take it the string. So what is the description for it is immutable sequence. Sequence is nothing but a series, sir. It's a continuation. Then coming to the list is also mutable sequence. Then coming to the tuple also mutable sequence. But the question is, once if a list is created, you can add the elements for it. Let me say in this way, sir. Initially, I created a list with 4 values. Later, I realized that I want to add 2 more values for the same list. Yeah, you can do. Because list is mutable, you can add. But coming to the tuple, it's immutable, sir. You cannot add. You cannot append. Let me say the same example in this way. Due to some requirement, I created a tuple with 5 values, and later I want to add or append 2 more values. Not possible in tuple. Because you look at that, tuple is immutable. You cannot add, you cannot change. Whereas you can do so in the list because it's a mutable sequence. That's why I made a description, sir. Mutable sequences in the sense, after the creation, values can be changed or added. Whereas it is not so in the case of the tuple. Hope I was clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is the data type descriptions. As I said, most of the times you will come across numerical values followed by list. List is also very much useful for you because when you get into the packages like NumPy, Matplotlib, most of the times we will deal with list. List is nothing but a group of values. Don't get into too much technical jargons. List is a list. And if I had only one student, then I will ask you. If I had a strength of 60 students in the class, I will ask you, well, where is the list of roll numbers of the students? It's a list because it is more than one. So list stores allows multiple values, whereas variables does not holds. So any more queries in this, sir, or shall I move to the next one? Anybody can raise a question. Okay, then let me get into. It's a simple thing, Andy, but it is a formality to introduce this operators. Nothing but your additions, subtractions, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to, exponentiation. All these are operators. As you are going to say, our focus is on solving the mathematical equations. You will come across these operators. Square root of ax square plus bx plus c. So there is a plus. It's an operator. So likewise, these are the operators and arithmetic operators, relational operators, comparison. Relational operators in the sense, you want to go for any comparison. Let me say, you can say that side 1 is equal to side 2 is equal to side 3 of a triangle. I'm going to say it in a very vague sense. If all the 3 sides of a triangle are equal, then you will say that it is an isolated triangle or isometric triangle. Then I want to say side 1 is equal to side 2 or not. Then once again, side 2 is equal to side 3 or not. There I want to test the equality, whether the first value is equals to the second value, or whether the first value is greater than the second value. I want to go for a comparison between 2 values. Then I will use the relational operators. That's why you look at the operators equal to, not equal to, likewise. Logical operators. It is for combining ending. Logical operators is combining. For combination of these things, I had 2 conditions. If both these conditions are true, then I will use AND. Suppose I want to get into an engineering admission, then there is a condition, let us say, I should pass an intermediate and I should qualify in MSET, that engineering entrance exam. There are 2 conditions. First, I should pass in intermediate, and then second, I should qualify in the entrance exam. It is both. Then I have to use AND. If intermediate is equal to pass and entrance is equals to qualified, give a seat. There are 2 conditions. Intermediate is equal to pass. And there is a second condition, that entrance exam is equals to qualified. If both the conditions are becoming true, then only we are going to give him an admission. So that's why how I will frame it. Intermediate is equal to pass and entrance is equals to qualified. Suppose, let me say the government has changed a rule that any one of them is okay for me. Then I will use or. Either the first condition or the second condition. Then bitwise operators, assignment operators, ternary operators, and identity operators. If you day by day, if you keep on practicing the examples, you will understand that what is this. Assignment operators already we used it in the first example, and A is equals to 2. A is equals to 2 means you are assigning the value of 2 to A. You are assigning a value of 2 to the variable A, assignment. We are assigning a value. We are fixing the value of A as a 10. That's what. But point to be noted is, out of these operators, all these operators, arithmetic operators are very special for us. Arithmetic operators are very special for us because in our mathematical calculations, most of the times we will deal with them only. Just if you look at, and let us spend a 2 minutes of time over here. The symbol is plus, which I am going to call it as addition. There I am going to say that it is 55 plus 45. Please look at that. 55 plus 45. So to this particular plus operator, the left hand side is a number and the right hand side is also a number. That's why it is adding the numbers. So 55 summed up with 45, giving the result as 100. It's an addition. But if the same thing, look at the example 2. I think example 1 is quite easily understandable, but you look at example 2. Yeah, once again, I'm using the same addition operation, but the left to it is a string. Just what we discussed, a string is a set of alphabets. So good is a string, morning is a string, 2 different strings, and you are adding them with a plus. Then it cannot be added. It will be concatenated. The operator is the same, Andy. The operator is the same in both the examples. But in example 1, plus is the operator with both sides as numbers. That's why it is addition. But in the example 2, for the plus operator, both sides were strings. That's why we are going to get it into a concatenation. Good plus morning is equals to good morning. So please be careful. Then second one is subtraction. Nothing like that, Andy. Subtraction is what you feel regularly. 55 minus 45 is 10 and 30 minus 80 is minus 50. Nothing much complex in that. Then please look at multiplication. Multiplication also behaves a little bit differently. 55 into 45. That's saying 2475. But you look at the example 2. To this particular operator of multiplication, left hand side is a string and right hand side is a number. That's why the good is repeated for 3 times. The left hand side is a string good multiplied by 3. Now don't worry that how a string is multiplied with a number. It is not possible. But it is says that good into 3 is equals to the same word good is repeated for 3 times. So that's why I'm going to say, be a little bit sensible. I don't say that they are terror. Just to be a little bit sensible how they are behaving. Whereas you don't have any such problem with the subtraction. Then you look into this division. Look at the example 1 only. The same division will be in different ways. 17 divided by 5. Then you will get the quotient. Then you will get the quotient 3. And if you say 17 divided by 5.0, you introduce the decimal places. When you introduce a decimal place, either in the numerator or in the denominator, you will get the result also with a decimal place. Now you look at the first one. What I specified there is 17 divided by 5. Both are integer values without any decimal places. 17 is a rounded value, 5 is a rounded value. That's why you are getting the result or output as 3. But you look at that at the second one and the third one. That is 17 divided by 5.0. 5.0 is a fractional, I mean decimal. 17.0 divided by 5. If you introduce a decimal place either at the numerator or at the denominator, the result is also going to become a fractional 3.4. But in the first case, that is 17 divided by 5, there was no decimal places at all. That's why you are getting an integer value 3. Similarly is with the example 2. 28 by 3. 9 3s are 27. You will get quotient only. Suppose if I say 17.5, you will get the answer in your regular mathematics as 3 point something 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 with the decimal places. Suppose if I say 10 divided by 3, the result is 3.3333 recurring. But here in Python, it is not like that. It is an integer division. That's why even if you say 28.3 in the example 2, you will get the answer as 9 only, not 9.1 or 9.2, something like this. You are getting quotient. Then you look at the remainder module. I mean, remainder, modulo division. Now you will get the remainder. 17 modulo division of 5 is 2. Because 3 5s are 15, 3 is the quotient, 2 is the remainder. Hope I was clear. Please try to understand the difference between 17 division 5, which gives the quotient, 17 modulo division of 5. The operator is changed. The regular mathematics division symbol is for integer division only. It won't give the decimals, it won't give the remainder. But to get the remainder, you have to, in Python, not only in Python, any computer language, you have to use the percentage symbol. That gives the remainder. 17 modulo division of 5. 3 5s are 15 and then 2 is the remainder. Likewise, in the example also, 23 modulo division of 10. 11 2s are 22, then 1 is the remainder. Please try to have an eye. Please try to have a critical observation on integer division and modulo division. Then the question is exponentiation. That is to the power and power. You look at this. 2 multiplication symbols 3. Indirectly it is 2 cube and indirectly it is nothing but 2 cube. But how you will express 2 cube in Python is 2 multiplication symbols. Single multiplication symbol is your regular mathematics. 2 into 3 is equals to 6. 2 into 3 multiplication is equal to 6. But here if you see 2, number 2, followed by 2 multiplication symbols, followed by 3. That is behaving as 2 cube. Likewise, you look into the example 2 only. 2 multiplied by 8. Indirectly, it is 2 to the power of 8. 2 to the power of 8. That is equals to 256. So, very specifically, I request all of you to look at division, remainder division, exponentiation, because that is the these are the operators most of the times we will use in solving mathematical equations. Hope I was clear. Then let me go for a single code. Don't worry about the code, and that I will take care of. Don't worry about the code. It is as simple as that. But this is the first program that I want to explain. I mean to say, a complete Python program. Don't worry, Andy. Just you have a glance. Just you try to read it in a top to bottom. Then I will explain. Don't worry about that. Yeah. So the first what I highlighted in the blue color is the code. And in the bottom part in the white background is how it looks like when you run the program. The top part, which looks like in a very light blue color, is going to be the code what you are supposed to write it in Python IDLE or Anaconda or somewhere. And when you run that Python program, what is output and how it looks like is the second half. Good. Now, if you observe the code that we specified here, look at the code only. Some of the lines were beginning with a hash symbol. Some of the lines, mostly I think it is 3 lines. All these 3 lines were beginning with a hash symbol, indicating that they are comment lines, just for our understandability, just for our convenience. It's a comment line. Don't take them into at all. You don't worry about them. Then the question is, sir, when we don't want to worry about them, what is the necessity of writing? So here the question is, I was in a position and I developed a software, and that particular program is running with 1,000 lines. Okay, let us simply say 500 lines. I write this program and I am executing it. After that, I was transferred to somewhere else. I was transferred to some other department. In my place, Mr. X is coming and he cannot read all the entire 500 lines of code. It's a time-consuming process. That's why at the beginning, I will write a comment line. The following code do so and so, so and so. Even when we're writing the program in the next subsequent steps, the first 3 lines, I want to write a comment lines that finds the sign values of the following values. I mean, trigonometric sign value. Then in the next lines, I will write a comment line that the following lines of code displays the graph. For understandability and for the convenience, make it a practice. If you become a professional programmer, no need to use them. I don't say that it is a serious, it's an optional. The lines in this particular code, what you are seeing on the screen, the lines which begins with a hash symbol is an option. It's not mandatory. So basically the following program is to classify a triangle based on its sides. Just I want to consider the sides of a triangle, all the 3 sides of a triangle. Then I want to identify which type of the triangle it is. The same thing I specified as a comment line. The following sample program is to classify a triangle based on its sides. That's for your understandability. Good. Then the next comment line is get the user input for the lengths of the sides. When I want to say that it is a equilateral triangle, first of all, I want to input the sides. What is the length of the first side? Then second side, then the third side. Before checking and before saying that it is an equilateral triangle, first of all, I should have the lengths of all the 3 sides. That's why the second comment line, get the user input for the length of the sides. But you had 3 lines over there, and side 1 is equal to, side 2 is equal to, side 3 is equal to. I will explain them. But before to that, you observe there are a set of the parentheses and braces unnai. So please keep it in mind. How many open brackets were there? That many closing brackets must be there. I repeat once again. Especially you look at the statement that begins with side 1, side 2 and side 3. You will have a brackets in each line. So the mandatory point, the compulsory point is how many number of the brackets you opened. Suppose let me say that at one part of the Python program, I am opening 4 brackets, 4 parentheses. Then you must close them equally. If there are 2 opening brackets, close them with 2 opening brackets. Because if there is a mismatch in the number of opening and closing parentheses, you cannot run the Python program. The Python interpreter fails to interpret the meaning of that particular line with a mismatch of the parentheses. So that's why it's a mandatory. how many number of the opening parentheses were there, that many number of the closing parentheses must be there. That's good. Now you come to this particular input. There is a function input followed by 2 parentheses to read a value from the keyboard, sir. That's it. To read a value from the keyboard. Suppose I want to enter the length of the side 1 as 7, side 2 as -4, and side 3 as say some particular 11. Agreed. I want to enter the length of the side 1, side 2, side 3. To read a value from the keyboard, you need to use the function input. Input is a function in Python to read a value from the keyboard. Sir, instead of all these technical jargons, shall I interpret in a very simple sense? In the previous example, we discussed print. Print is a function to display the output, to display the answer and to display the result. Exact opposite of print is input. The quite exact opposite of the print is input. Print is to print the value. Input is to read the value. That's it. When I want to read a value from the keyboard, any value, don't worry about the type of the value. Whether it is an integer value, positive value, negative value, decimal value, text value, whatever it is, I don't mind. If I want to read a value from the keyboard, the function you have to use it is input. Good. But the problem with the input function is, it reads the value as a text value. It reads the value as a text value. Okay. Now, if I am going to say that input enter the length of the side 1, and if I executed it, input enter the length of the side 1, and I executed it, I entered the value of the length of the side 1 as a 12. Then your Python reads it as a string 12, not the integer number 12. That's a problem, or that's a behavior of the input function. Even though you enter the value as 23, with the help of and by using the input function, if you read the value as, enter the value as 27, it is not an integer value, it's a string value. It's a text 23. That's why I'm using one more function before to that, float. Means that readed text value is converted into a float value. It's a little bit easy, but when you are listening it to the first time, it will be a little bit, wavering. Print is the function to display the result. Input is a function to read a value from the keyboard. You can enter the value whatever you want. So basically, input is a function to read the value from the keyboard, but it reads a text value only, even though you enter a integer value. So that's why another function is used before to that, that is a float value. Means whatever the text value that you got it from the keyboard is converted into a float value, and then it was stored into side 1 variable. Side 1 is a variable, side 2 is a variable, side 3 is a variable. For the time being, these are the 3 variables we are going to use. Got it? Side 1 is a variable, side 2 is a variable, side 3 is a variable. But we are reading 3 different values from the keyboard with the help of an input function. But input function reads the value as a text, and the text value is to be converted into a float value. I enter the side length of the side 1 as 11. Originally 11 is an integer value, no doubt. By birth 11 is an integer value. But you are reading with an input function, it is read as a string value. Then it has to be converted into. Now, last point in this particular code. Sir, there are 2 functions, float and an input. Then which function will be executed at first? Is it clear? You are using side 1 is equal to float is a function, and then followed by an input function. Which function will execute at the first? First input function will execute. Then float function will execute. First input function is executed, and then the value is given to float function, which is converted into a float value. Is it clear? Right. Now the question is, sir, I don't want to convert it into a float value. Just I want to convert it into an integer value. In this example, I am focusing on the float, but I want to read an integer value. Very simple. Side1 is equals to int, int. Instead of the float function, you write an int function. Side1 is equals to int of input of enter the length of the side1. Off in the sense brackets and when I'm pronouncing it as off, mean to say float off in the sense not OFF off. Float followed by a parenthesis. Input parenthesis. All these are the sides. So now I got the length of the side 1 converted into a float value. Likewise side 2, side 3. And now there is a comment line. Check the type of the triangle based on the length of its sides. Which type of the triangle it is? There is nothing to calculate. I don't say that side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3. I don't say that side 1 plus side 2 divided by 2. No. We are not going for any calculations like additions and subtractions. We are going for a comparison. That's why the next statement begins with if. If is for testing a condition. If is to test a condition. So if side 1 is equals to side 2 and is equals to side 3. And if all the three sides are equal. But you look at how the Python is expressed. Please carefully observe. Please, once again, I mind you, this is the mistake where most of the times you will suffer in the beginning. After the side 1, there is an equals to symbol. And along with the if condition, there is another equal symbol. There is a difference. There is a difference. If there is a single equals to symbol, assignment, we are fixing the value. But blindly, whenever you are working with the if, don't use the single equals to. You have to make it as double equals to. Equality operator. I repeat once again and I, caution you once again. Single equals to symbol is for the assignment. Just you are assigning a value, fixing a value. But when you want to test whether it is equal to or not, then you have to use double equals to symbol. Most of the times double equals to symbol comes with if. Yeah. Now you look at that if condition. If is to test something like a greater than, less than, equals to, not equals to, likewise. If is to test a condition. What is that condition? Side 1 must be equal to side 2 and again side 2 must be equal to side 3. If all these three sides are equal. Hope I was very clear. If conditions, most of the times we will write it. Most of the areas we will write the code. Once, I'm telling you seriously, if you are good at understanding and applying the if condition, 50% of your Python is over. 50% of your Python programming is over. If you are able to understand exactly what if is and where it is to be applied, then your Python 50% is over. So once again, you look at that. If IFF is to test a condition. Now, what is a condition? Side 1 should be equal to side 2. Should be equal to, not assigned to. That's what I did it in the previous line. Side 1 is equal to side 3 is equals to. Single equals to symbol is for assignment. Double equals to symbol is for comparison. Side 1 must be equal to side 2. Side 2 must be equal to side 3. And there is a colon symbol. And there is a colon symbol. At the end of the if condition, mind you, at the end of the if condition, there is a colon symbol. Then you press enter key in the keyboard. Then I'm going to say that if that particular above condition is true, print it is an equilateral triangle. means I am going to print the message as equilateral triangle if and only if side 1 is equal to side 2, side 2 is equal to side 3. Okay. If it is not so, okay, let us say that somewhere it was false. Maybe side 1 not equal to side 2, maybe side 2 not equal to side 3, or maybe side 1 not equals to side 3, whatever it is, somewhere there was no equality. Then I will come for else if. You look at that, ELIF means what is the first if condition you are testing? What is the first if condition you are testing? If it is becoming true, if it is becoming valid, then and there itself it ends the story. Simply it will say that it is an equilateral triangle and it comes out. Your program is ended. Your program is completed. But the first if condition you are testing may become false. Whatever the reason may be. As I am saying, side 1 may not be equal to side 2 or side 2 may not be equal to side 3. Your first condition is false. Then where I have to go? Then I have to go for else if. We will pronounce it as else if, but while writing the syntax, it is ELIF. Please mind that. What do you mean by else if in the sense else? Very simple, sir. Let me go for a moment for an outside. I want to go for a simple real example. Myself and my friend wants to go to a movie in the next Sunday. Next Sunday, both of you want to go for a movie. But it is a newly released movie. Ticket may be or may not be. I may get a ticket or I may not get a ticket. Okay, first let us go for the try to get a movie. If ticket is not available, then I will go for a restaurant. That's simple. That's agreement between me and my friend. If ticket is okay, if I got the ticket, I will go to the movie. Otherwise, I will go to the restaurant. That's how we are expressing it is. If ticket is available, print go to movie, else go to restaurant. Else in the sense when your if condition is false. That's why coming back to the example. If side 1 is equal to side 2 is equal to side 3, you are lucky. All the three sides are equal. Your if condition is true. Your equilateral triangle and there itself the program is ended. It don't goes for else if. It don't goes for the next part of the program. If the first if condition tested itself is true, there itself the program is ended. The next part of the program is continued if the condition is false. That's why we are going to say else if. Okay, else if side 1 is equal to side 2 or side 1 is equal to side 3 or side 2 is equal to side 3. If any two sides are equal, that's what we are going to say there. Side 1 is equal to side 2 or side 1 is equal to side 3 or side 2 is equal to side 3. If any two sides are equal, then I am going to say isosceles triangle. If all the three sides are equal, equilateral triangle. If any two sides are equal, isosceles triangle, then not so. It is a saline triangle. Of course, my pronunciation may be a little bit different. Please excuse me in that. But this is how you are going to write a program. If you are able to understand this particular program perfectly, pin to pin, rest of our FDPs, my session is a cakewalk. Not the FDP, my next part of the session is a cakewalk. Please, once again, I request all of you, just you look at this code, what I'm going to say, what I'm going to display in this. If you have any queries, let me know here itself.
So what is the difference between elif and else?
Sir, nothing else. It is in the other languages, it is mentioned as else if. But in Python language, it is only ELIF, that's it. Even in Python also, some of the versions allows else if.
The last column we used else.
Else means when all the conditions were failed. When what you said in the first top two conditions, sir, let me go in this example, sir. I'm writing my 10th class examination. If percentage is greater than 60, first class. Else if percentage is between 50 to 60, second class. Else if percentage is between 40 to 50, third class. Else అంటే నాకు ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్ రాలేదు, సెకండ్ క్లాస్ రాలేదు, థర్డ్ క్లాస్ రాలేదు. ఇంకా అల్టిమేట్ మీనింగ్ ఏంటి సార్? I was a fail. So else in the sense, that is the last part. When whatever the conditions you specified previously, ఇంతకు ముందు మీరు ఇఫ్ పార్ట్ లో చెప్పిన కండిషన్స్ అన్ని ఫెయిల్ అయ్యాయి అంటే ఇంకా there is no alternative, it will become that I was fail. Oh, sorry, you asked about else kadandi. Else in the sense, that's what else if is different. If condition fails, else if. When all the if conditions fails, else. ఇందాక నేను ఒక just now I quoted one example. If ticket is available, go to movie. Else, go to restaurant. Suppose if restaurant is also busy, let us assume, I don't say that it happens. So if tickets is available, go to movie. Else if restaurant is free, I mean vacant, go to restaurant. Else, come back to home. నేను అనుకున్న సినిమాను దొరకలేదు, నేను వెళ్దాం అనుకున్న రెస్టారెంట్ ఖాళీగా లేదు, సింప్లీ ఐ విల్ గెట్ బ్యాక్ టు. దట్ ఈస్ మై లాస్ట్ ఆప్షన్. Else, when previously specified if conditions were becoming false, at last it becomes the else part. Yeah, that's a good question, sir. Any other questions? Let me hear.
Sir, as a mathematics faculty, we don't know this program. How could we recognize these apostrophe commas and open brackets?
This is a regular punctuation, sir. Am I clear, sir?
Yes, audible, sir.
No. Can you repeat the question, sir?
So without, we don't have any single computer knowledge.
Okay.
Then how could we write with these apostrophe commas and open bracket with closure bracket?
That's why, sir, once if you're habituated with one program, the same story continues. If any text is there, enclosed within the double quotations. If any function is there, enclosed within the parenthesis. Likewise, these are the rules. Originally, we have to introduce them. But if it is a kind of, time limit program, we are going to say it in an example. But if you come to a face-to-face, then we will teach all these rules and regulations prima facie. If this is a function, then you have to use these brackets. Likewise.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay, sir. So I hope that it is a little bit clear and able to understand what it is happening in this code. That's what I'm saying, sir. Please mind. If you made any mistake in typing the program, it hints you that a semicolon is missing or a double quotation is missing. Suppose I opened 4 brackets and I closed 3 brackets only. Actually, in one particular statement, I opened 4 parentheses, but while closing, I made it 3 only. Now your Python interpreter will say that bracket is missing. Yeah, definitely it will hint you. The bracket is missing. There is a open double quotations, but there was no double quotations. Likewise, it will hint you. But if there is any logical error, then it may not. That's why while writing the statement, you try to understand the meaning of it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. So with an assumption that you understand at least a 50% of the clarity, let me move to the second one, sir. As I said, the life of the Python is understanding the if condition, 50%, and the rest of the 50% is loop. If condition and for loop. These two will decide the success or failure of your program. Some of the times, most of the I will say that, sir, my program looks like very good, but it is giving a wrong result. So that was mostly due to the wrong interpretation of if condition, usage of the if condition, and a for loop. That's why we are going to say, technically, if condition and for loop are control statements. Means when it is in a regular class, we will say them as control statements. Means they are going to control the flow of execution of your program. Both if and for. If is a condition, if is to test a condition, true or false, yes or no, is equal to not equal to. If. But for is a loop, and loop in the sense repetition, sir. That's it. Don't think, don't get too much of about it. In a simple sense, if is a condition, నేను అందుకే ఇందాక example చెప్పాను. If ticket is available, I will go to the movie and what's there in it. But its interpretation is most important. As I said, 100, let me go back to the previous one. 100%, the Python focus lies in testing the first if. 100%. It places its focus on first if. Side 1 is equal to side 2 is equal to side 3. If it is becoming true, let us say that side 1 is 7, 7, 7. 1, 2, all the three sides are same. Then your if condition is becoming true, and I'm going to say it as equilateral triangle. But I inputted as side 1 as 7, side 2 as 7, side 3 as 4. Then your first if is false. Then because of your first if condition is becoming false, then only I will come and check else if. అంటే దీన్ని రివర్స్ లో చెప్పనా సార్? What is a prerequisite? What is a precondition to test the else if is previous condition fail అయితేనే కింద కండిషన్కి వస్తుంది. అంటే చెప్పాను కదా సార్ ఇందాక ఎగ్జాంపుల్, అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ద సెంటిమెంట్, నేను బాగా చదువుతానని నా కాన్ఫిడెన్స్. దట్స్ వై ఐ సెర్చ్ ఫర్ మై నెంబర్ ఇన్ ద ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్. దట్స్ న్యాచురల్ టెండెన్సీ. You try to search your hall ticket number in the first class result with a 100% confidence. My number is not there. Then only I will compromise myself. Okay, something happened. Let me check in the second class result. Because due to some reason I missed the first class, then only I will check it in the result tabulation of the second class. Okay, I was more worst. My number is also not there in the second class. Then only it will come for the third class. ఒకసారి ప్రాక్టికల్గా చూడండి సార్. కెన్ ఐ సెర్చ్ ఫర్ మై హాల్ టికెట్ నెంబర్ ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్, సెకండ్ క్లాస్, థర్డ్ క్లాస్ ఎట్ ఏ టైమ్? నో. At a glance, I cannot see the result of first class, second class, third class. It won't happen like that. First, I will look at the if, fails, else if, fails, another else if. ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్లో లేదు, సెకండ్ క్లాస్లో లేదు, థర్డ్ క్లాస్లో లేదు, ఇంకా వేరే రిజల్ట్ ఏం లేదు. ఇంక అక్కడ in newspaper they will never publish the failure hall ticket numbers. My number is not there in the first class. Okay, then look at the second class. Okay, then look at the third class. Okay, then its indirect meaning is I'm a fail. That is else. Else is the last failure part. Hope I was a little bit elaborative. And now you come back to this particular, sorry. Yeah. Looping statements, loop. Looping statements in a programming languages allows you to execute a block of code repeatedly. Means there are some statements, and let me say whatever the statements it is, you leave it. There are some statements and I want to repeatedly execute them for 10 times. Then it is a loop. Then it is a loop. I will give you a simple example about this loop, sir. Don't get into too much technical jargons. Just you understand this example. I want to conduct a 400 meters running race. Simple, as simple as that. I want to conduct a running race of 400 meters. And luckily I had a stadium. In that stadium, I has a track for 400 meters. There is a track of 400 meters. The size of the track is 400 meters, and I want to run a competition for 400 meters just to make one single round of it. Throughout the track, you make a single round of it. That's it. My story is closed. Then case number 2. Please understand, sir. What is my objective is to conduct a running race of 400 meters. That's my aim and objective. To conduct a running race of 400 meters. Now the question is availability. There is a stadium with an availability of 400 meters running track. So what I will ask the participant is, you make a round of it. 400 meters done. Case 2. Unfortunately, I didn't have a 400 meters track. నా దగ్గర 400 meters running track లేదండి ఆ స్టేడియంలో. But I had a running track of 200 meters only. So please understand, objective is to conduct a 400 meters race, but the availability of the track is 200 meters only. 200 into 2. I will ask the player, what I will call participant, to make 2 rounds. Track is the same. Track is the same of the size 200 meters. How many rounds he has to make? To complete the race of 400 meters is 200 into 2. Loop. He is making a loop for 2 times. Then, very unfortunately, I had a track of 100 meters only. The size of the running race track is 100 meters only. Where I want to conduct a race of 400 meters, what I will do it is 100 into 4. I ask the player, a sprinter, whatever you call, Babu, this is the 100 meters track. You make a round of 4. 200 meters track, it is a round of 2. 200 into 2 is equals to 400. 100 meters track, 4 times repeat avvali. 100 into 4, 400. So 200 meters track, there is a loop of 2 times. Loop is to be repeated for 2 times. Whereas 100 meters track, loop is to be repeated for 4 times. Let us say that I was a damn bad luck guy. The running track is for 50 meters only. That's unfortunate. It is a track of size 50 meters only. What I have to do? Again loop. But this time I have to go for 8 times. The loop is to be repeated for 8 times. 50 into 8 is equals to 400. That's what do you mean by a loop? A repetitive. A repetitive. Hope I was clear. If anybody wants to, a little bit more, because understanding the if and for loop is most important. Good. Now I am trying to give a very simple examples for these looping statements. Just you look at, it is a little bit sophisticated in Python. For. Whenever you want to express the condition, it is if. Whenever you want to express a loop, it is for. As simple as that. Better you make a by heart of it only. Just you butify it. Means I should not say like that. But whenever I want to express a condition, you remember it that condition is if, loop is for the initial days. Condition begins with if, whereas loop begins with for. Yeah. Now we are talking about the loops. For I is a variable. I is a variable in range. Range is a function. I repeat, for is to express the loop. The statement must begin with a for. because I want to express a loop. Loop always expressed with for, and that should be the beginning statement of the, beginning part of that line, beginning word of that line. For I is a variable in range. Range is a function. So now question is, sir, how can you say that range is a function? That's what I want to make a clarity. Because range is a function, and how I identify it is, function is always associated with a pair of the brackets, braces. Range, open bracket, some 5 is there, leave it, and once again there is a closed bracket. Range is a function because it is associated with a pair of the brackets, is supported by 2 braces. Similarly, you look at print. So now, can we say that print is a function? Okay, got it that I can say that range is a function, because as I said, range is a function associated with a pair of the brackets. Similarly, can I say that a print is a function? Yes, 100%. Print is a function because print is also associated with a pair of the brackets. So keep it in mind, a function is always associated with a pair of parentheses, brackets. So now you look at this. For I is a variable.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is not visible, sir. Screen. Since 10 minutes, I don't see.
So let me.
Only doctor is available. Yes.
Okay, sir. Let me.
What you said is the program is just to forward, sir.
Yeah, 1 minute, sir, please.
Sir, is it over, sir?
No, sir. 1 minute, sir.
No, sir.
Sir, now is it visible? Sir, is it visible now?
Yeah. It is visible. Now it is visible, sir. Now it is
visible.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now you look at that, sir. For I in range, I is a variable. I can have the value. Just in the beginning, as we said, I varies its values. Sometimes I may have a value of 1, I may have a value of 3, I may have something else. It varies. But here the point to be noted is, range is the function. And along with the range, I specified 5. But 5 is the ending value, sir. 5 is the ending value. So, when the 5 is the ending value, where it begins with? That's my question. So by default, obviously, it begins with 0. Because you didn't specify anything there. Range of 5. 5 is the ending value. So where it begins with? 0. So indirectly, what is the meaning of the range function is, the value of the variable I varies from 0 to 5. But please, most importantly, please remember that 5 is not included. Even though it is specified as range of 5, 5 is exclusive. 5 is exclusive. Then it begins with 0. So indirectly, what is the value of I is, I value initially 0, then it will become 1, then it will become 2, then it will become 3, then it will become 4, and ends there. 5 is not included. 5 is exclusive. That's why if you see the right part of my code, actually you can see it into left part and right part. Just you focus it at the right part, and for I in range of 5, print I. So when your loop is repeated for the first time, loop is nothing but iteration, repetition. When your for loop is repeated for the first time, I can have the value as 0. I can have the value as 0 because that's the beginning value. When the loop is repeated for second time, I value is automatically incremented. I value is automatically incremented by 1. So 0 plus 1, that's why it is printing 1. You look at the output, sir. Initially it was printing 0, the next it was printing 1, then the I value is 1, loop is repeating for the third time. Already the value of I is 1 and loop is repeated for third time. So 1 plus 1, 2, I will print 2. The next 3, the next 4, that's it, end. Because if you repeated it for one more time, 4 plus 1 is 5, but it should not be included. As I said in the range function, 5 is not included. Begins with 0. Of course, Andy, in the afternoon session, while going for a practicals, I will show you, suppose I want to begin with 11 and I want to end with 17. Yeah, you can do. Don't say that it is for a limited values. No, 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 no. Not like that. Your range is a function where you specify where the value begins with. I want to begin a value with 12. I want to begin the range with 12. And of course, I want to end it with 27. Sir, is it possible? 100%. Then I got one more doubt. Sir, if you say 12, 28, range within the parenthesis 12, 27. So range begins with 12, ends with 26 only. 27 is exclusive. So 12, 13, 14, 15 likewise. Sir, I want 12 plus 2, 14, 14 plus 2, 16, means I want to jump 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 12 plus 5, 17, 17 plus 5, 22. We can happily. That I will try to explain you in the afternoon post-lunch session. So for is a loop, I is a variable, range is a function. Range of 5 means, please remember that, because you didn't specify anything exclusively where it begins with, by default it begins with 0 and 5 is not included. And you are printing the value of 5 and look at the right side of the code. You are printing the value of 5. Now you look at the code on the left hand side and you are not printing the value of 5. You are printing the text as FDP in double quotations. So it will print FDP, 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 FDP for 5 times. So please try to understand the difference. If I is a variable, and if you are printing the value of I, it prints a value of I as 17, 18, 19, 20. I is a variable, but if you are printing within the double quotations the text as FDP, it will print the FDP for 5 times. That makes the difference. That's what I'm trying to, alert you. Please be careful with this if and for. I promise, I personally promise, if you are good at if conditions and if you are good at for loops, 90% of your Python is over. Python language is over. Rest of the things means they are little bit, sophistication. That's it on that. But if you are, not that much good and if you are not capable of handling this, your output may be wrong. So this is the if condition and this is a for loop. Srinivas, sir.
Sir.
So can we take a lunch break here? And,
yeah, no issue. Sir, 1:30 or 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock can you start, sir?
Yeah, no issue, sir.
Yeah.
So in the meanwhile, I request all the participants, probably in the afternoon, I will try to explain through code because in the PowerPoint, I cannot execute them. So I will stop sharing the PPT and I will give it to you later, means after the completion of my session. But in the afternoon session, I will try to execute the ecosystem of the Python, how you have to type, where you have to type, etc., etc. And if you have any doubts also, we will be in the afternoon session. Hope all of you will come back by 2 o'clock.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Srinivas, sir, my part is over and I will come back at 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Please join at the 2 o'clock. It's the same link. So session will be started at 2 o'clock. Thank you. Feedback link will be shared for the
Feedback from Achil, madam.
Yeah, I will share in the group. No issue.
పంపించాలా
No issue. No issue. We will share in the group. No issue.
మేడం ఏదో నేను సెండ్ చేస్తాను మేడం.
Hello, sir. We are unable to text in the chat box, sir. Can you enable us? If we have any queries,
No.
we can text in the chat box so that we can get the answers from the resource person after at the end of the session.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, sir.
ఇచ్చారు మేడం. మేడం సెండ్ చేశాను కదా మేడం, ఫిల్ చేయండి. చాట్ బాక్స్ వచ్చింది మేడం. ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ద
No issue. We will change
టూ
the
సెక్షన్స్ కదా
feedback.
మేడం. మీకు సెండ్ చేశాను మేడం.
Yeah, definitely we will
వాట్సాప్
share.
చేశాను.
Yeah, on WhatsApp group we will share. No issue. Wait.
మేడం ఏది చార్ట్స్ అని ఉన్నది మేడం. చార్ట్ మీకు షేర్ చేశాను మేడం నేను. మేడం వాట్సాప్ లో పెట్టాను మేడం.